The next group is Bowen Island Family Place. Is there anybody that would like to speak?
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and councillors on the floor. I'm Joanna Wing. I'm the president this year of the Bowen Island Family Place Association. I'm having a very fun year doing it too. And really just a quick note to say that the municipality's grant is greatly needed for Family Place. It's certainly well over a third of our required money that's needed throughout this year. Family Place, just to give you a quick background, is extremely important to any community, I believe. But here on Bowen, it is the only family drop-in place that young families can attend from children ages 0 to 6. Caregivers and families stay with their children. We also have a baby connections program, and it's very often the very first place that new families to the island cross the threshold and connect with other families. This alone, it just makes it so important for our island, and money from the municipality goes a great deal of a long way to help support all of the programs that we operate, and also to help support our coordinator who works part-time but every morning, opening Family Place and running the programs and the resources that are required. We also have moved into a new space this year in Carter Road below the Children's Centre, so lots of fun and happening things, but it's a work in progress, and any municipality money would help towards progressing with that and improving the environment that over 65 families enjoy throughout the week. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we'll spring right to it. Sure.
I noticed that you were called out for Bowen, Abbeyfield,
yes.
and Murray Atherton is now. I don't know whether he wants to say something about Abbeyfield.
This was for the grant towards the taxes?
For the development fees, if 2012 is a year that you apply for development fees.
Okay. Just the plans are working. We've got a presentation later on in the process today to talk about the infrastructure needed and any assistance that we can get. It's been an 18-year process so far, and we're getting close. So I'd just like to thank everybody for their patience, especially those on board.
And now under B, Spring Grants and Aid Applications, we have the Bowen Island Agricultural Alliance Society.
Hello, I'm Glave. I'm the board president of the Bowen Agricultural Alliance, otherwise known as BAW. Happy birthday. So basically, we're just some passionate folks at BAW about anything related to local food and agriculture. It's all volunteer run. We put on some community educational workshops, beekeeping, artisan cheese making, soil amendment, canning, vegetable gardening, how to deal with pests in the garden, creating an orchard, that kind of thing. We also did a pilot harvest box program last year, which delivered a box of local produce to islanders for 6 months every week. And we do the Bowen Farmers Market, which I know a lot of you attend and know about already. So we also donated $500 this year to the BIC school for their Farm to School program, which aims to get local produce in the school to the students. And we're working on charitable organization status, so we can do our own fundraising. So that's something we're working towards, but we can't issue any charitable receipts right now, so it's something we're working on. As I said, most of you are familiar with the Bowen Farmers Market. It's a BOB project that's in its 6th year, And we've expanded last year, so this year it's monthlies for 6 months. So with our big celebration in mid-August, June to October. And the market includes the big students selling the produce from the school garden too. It's been very successful. At our mid-August farmers market, we had 28 vendors and nearly all of them sold out. We recorded all the sales, and the highest was a grower who had $1,200 in produce sales in the 3 hours. Local agriculture, it's been documented, is really not sustainable without subsidy. Family farm, local agriculture. So we really need your support to continue supporting and growing agriculture on Bowen. We really appreciate all the support we've gotten over the years, and hope that you can continue to support us so we can deliver these documented benefits to the community. The one big farmers market in August cost $750 to put on, and the insurance for all the farmers markets cost $750. So, and then we were hoping for extra money to support the community educational workshops and that kind of thing. It's in our budget, and if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you so much.
The next group is the Bowen Island Historians, which I think they've supported. And okay, we'll move on to the next one, Bowen Island Community Fair Association, BOFEST. Bowen Island Heritage Preservation Society, Bowen Island Scouts,
Mayor, councillors, and everybody else. I'm here on behalf of the Scout Group. Our group activities focus on outdoor adventures for girls and boys ages 5 and up. We currently have a beaver group that's ages 5 and 7, and a wolf cub group which is 8 to 10. PAC program is based around 6 activity areas. For each activity area, stars are earned, and by completing certain requirements. Badges are also given within the star activities. Badges are paid by the group, not the children. This year the group has been very popular in the 8 to 10 range. Our program is one of the few that offers children that are age 5 and on-island group activity. Recently they planted some trees, they did clean up and all this. Those are the kind of activities that the little guys do. And is one of the programs that have boys and girls. Girl Guides only have girls. They will not accept boys, but Scouts will take girls. Some of our members require financial assistance, which our group will help as best as possible. However, being a nonprofit group, we have limited funds available. We have 2 fundraisers a year that are organized mainly by Scout Canada, and every group does their thing. We did Apple Day last year, and we did Christmas tree sale in North Van. Scouts provide opportunities that may not be available to some of our participants in the form of summer camping trips, water activities, snowshoeing, and winter camping. They all went last Wednesday kayaking, which was a great hit, and then they had a bonfire actually the week before because it rained and they couldn't kayak. Children are required to have their own camping gear, pay for their own transportation, and pay for extra activities. It costs each child $12 to go kayaking. It would be, if we could subsidize more of these activities, it would be greatly appreciated by all involved. Thank you so much.
And the next group is Seniors Keeping Young. That includes
Thanks, Tracy. I just wanted to, the groups, all groups were invited to present, but of course not everybody can make it on a Monday afternoon, so we did have some groups that weren't able to be here. I just wanted to, on page 17 of my report, on the back of that report, I put down our community grants policy and our grants and aid policy. I just pulled out a couple of highlights And just wanted to remind council that the grants, both grants are provided to improve the well-being of Bowen Island community as a whole. And then just down under eligibility, there's bullets 1 through 16. Things that I've just highlighted is that we must not provide assistance to industrial, commercial, or a business undertaking. So we need to be cautious of that. And then under in order of preference on page 18, it talks about arts, culture, recreational, environmental, educational, or social services field. And then it goes on to talk about the different, that it's got a broad base of community support, and that it meets the needs of a large portion of the community's residents. So you heard that the presenters were trying to outline how their group met those needs, because that's the questions that we asked them on their form. I just wanted to remind you of the 2 policies that are in place. So I put forward a proposed recommendation for debate. Mayor, I don't know if you want to go through them one at a time, or if you want to.
Do we want to have a general discussion from the council on the grants and aid, or?
Are we going to do the big one separately from the little one?
We can do. I saw some looks when the historians were called up twice. They've asked for a second smaller grant for a Lieben art exhibit, I believe it is, this summer. One of the rules actually says that people don't qualify for more than 1 grant, but we have, it looks like, consistently given the small grant and the big grant to organizations that ask for both of them.
Karen, would it be appropriate to set aside the amount for the fall grant and aid first, so that council knows what sort of sandbox they're working in? So this
Originally, I had suggested we set aside, I think I said $6,000. When I received council's recommendations, it worked out that there was more left over, and I proposed that we set aside $10,854 because that's what was left over. So if council was comfortable with that amount, that squishes up the community grants and the spring grants and aids to the amount that I recommended. So you see how it has an effect. So if you want to stick with the 6,000, that gives you another 4,880 to redistribute amongst my recommendation, if you followed my math there really quickly.
So are we still at 136,000?
You have 136,568. So.
And 10,000 at the moment set aside for the fall?
That's correct. Just based on what was left over after I heard council's suggestions of what they would support providing to community groups.
So leaving 126 for us to carve up today?
Correct. If that's a comfortable amount for the fall. If you look on page 203C, is that right, Casey? 203C, 203C? 203C, yeah. It's kind of in there backwards, which isn't such a bad thing, because the first page of the 4-page legal size report is the last page, but it shows the 136,568 midway through the page. So that's not such a bad idea. So you can see that by setting aside 10,000, that's more than we usually end up providing in the fall. The fall grants traditionally have been, again, the Agricultural Alliance Association, Children's Center again, a fire department for the fireworks show, just to help support that, and the historians. And the church has in the past as well applied. And what's the other one there? The church. My eyes are going across any youth center. So depends how much you want to leave aside for the fall. Somewhere between 6 and 10 is probably the right amount, I would say.
From a history perspective, we had a community grants and aid pot of 10,000 and a community recreation pot of 3. They got put together for 13, and the policy for the 10 in the community grants and aid policy was that half in the fall and half in the spring. So that's sort of between 5 and 6 of the 13 to be that for the fall grant. I think the recreation did theirs all in one lump.
So else are you suggesting that we put aside 15,000?
No, I'm suggesting that we probably, based on the grant and aid policy and the fact that originally that was intended to have $10,000, that we don't need to have any more than $6,000 set aside. the other comment I was make is just because we've got it in the budget doesn't mean we have to spend it.
Yeah.